Hello, Robots in Disguise fans. We are back. We're so happy to be here. We are looking at Season 3, Episode 1, History Lessons, and we will be with you after the opening.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
I have missed this show, like, a lot.
I like that this is the dance move you committed to. Well, like, there was no hesitation.
That's what's happening in the video right now.
I wasn't even looking at the video. When we picked this song, we heard the beginning of it, and Megan was like, what kind of dance move goes with that? And she just started in with no hesitation.
And I'm just like, it's the 80s, who even cares? This is absolutely what my mom listened to in high school, and of course that's why I know it, because you always pass on what you listened to in high school, whether the people you're passing it on to like it or not.
Yup. I feel sorry for, if I ever have children, I feel sorry for their teenage years.
See, my kids would just end up listening to the same stuff that like my parents listened to, because I really just like listened to what my parents listened to. I mean, obviously, like I went through Spice Girls and like Backstreet Boys, and same kind of phase you had to in the 90s. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, it was like my kids are just gonna like listen to the Beatles and like Mike Oldfield. You know,
My kids are gonna listen to like Rise Against and something corporate.
We are extremely off topic right now, you guys.
Listen, it's not off topic.
It's a history lesson.
Yay!
Welcome back to the Transformers Robots in Disguise after show on AfterBuzz TV. It's been a while. We are super happy to be here.
Yay!
Woohoo!
It feels good to be back.
Yep, Season 3, which may or may not be the back 6 of Season 2. We're not quite
Not
sure
totally
how
sure.
this works.
Not totally sure.
Cartoon Network is listing it as 3x01, so you know what, we're doing that. It is history lessons. And what did we think of this episode?
Listen, this episode was such a freaking tease, man.
Actually, you know what? It occurs to me that I have skipped a crucial step.
Oh,
Hit me as Speedster, Emma Fyffe.
Hi, that's me, Emma Fyffe. I can be found all over the internet wherever Emma Fyffes are sold at my name, Emma Fyffe, EMMA-FYFFE.
Megan Lord and Megan Salinas.
Hey guys, you can tweet at me at the Menguin. That's TheMenguin.
And I am Katie Prime Cullen. You can find me on Twitter at Kiaxet, that is Kiaxet. We have the hashtag ABTVRID that I think all of us are checking. We have the live chat, which Emma is in charge of. So if you have something fun to say, if you have fun Photoshops like Spencer Harris, who is way ahead of the game, thank you. That is incredible. We are crying laughing. Throw them in there. You may well get a shout out. And you can find our wrecker Alexis Taurus at aTaurus890. She had a run-in with some Dark Energon and is a little under the weather, so tweet her your well wishes. So this episode,
Yeah.
holy cow.
Some feelings?
Yeah,
Some
okay,
feelings?
so here's the thing, is that, like, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed this episode. I just, like, wanted a lot more. Like, I thought that the plot, I mean, to be fair, like, I accept that they're not just gonna go, like, full tilt Transformers Prime, but I also wanted it to be like when they're like, oh, this is a bomb that's been, you know, mashed together with a whole bunch of different Cybertronian found technology. It was like, it's because a human made it. It's it's going to be great. And that wasn't what happened. So I was a little disappointed.
Or it's new mech.
Oh my God, new mech, shoot
Yeah.
me. I think the reason that they've started going into this, and I mean, I think this is the first time they've mentioned Bulkhead by name in this series, ever, and bringing them back to Jasper, Nevada, and saying this happened, and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that part. That's when this occurred. That was that one-off Decepticon that we didn't know lived beforehand, and sure didn't live afterwards. But okay, yeah, I'm willing to bet that it's because the audience has grown up along with the show. And the 9-year-olds are now 11, and the 13-year-olds are now 15, and we can kind of start going, hey, you know what? We have this other series that was before this one and has a lot more violence and is really definitely about war, and it's on Netflix. You guys should go watch it.
Well, and I mean, granted, it's also hard to tell with scheduling. Because what is it? We've got like maybe 6?
We have 6 episodes.
We have
Yeah,
6
yeah.
episodes?
Which is why it's
And-
one Wikipedia lists it as season 2.5. One Wikipedia lists it as a miniseries. Cartoon Network is calling it 3x01.
They are, yeah,
Yeah.
they are writing it.
And
So
as
we're going
three.
with the Cartoon Network numbering because
Right.
that's official.
Forgive me if this is like delving a little into news and gossip, but if these 6 episodes are kind of one overarching story, bringing in Jasper, Nevada at the very beginning could mean a Prime payoff in 5 and 6.
That
true.
would be glorious.
And I really do think that is the direction that we are going. I mean, this is more overt reference to Prime than we've gotten at all in this series.
And that
With the
includes-
exception of, well, Optimus used to be dead and now he's not.
Well,
Yeah.
and that it absolutely includes Optimus coming back into the show and Ratchet coming back into the show.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, I knew this person from the war. And this is like, we're in the same location. This is where we used to be. This was our base. Like, oh, yep. I'm dying. That's
Oh gosh.
those are all of my feels right there.
Yeah, no.
On the ground, nobody cares about your feelings.
End of
Pretty much.
End of season 2 of Prime, where the whole place just gets wrecked, was still just
And it's like, here's the bombed out shell of our former base where we all nearly died. It's great. It's great.
memories.
History.
So fun.
Like I enjoyed going back to Jasper, Nevada, but I wasn't expecting the reveal just to be, hey, this is our old base. I was kind of expecting a person or two, like whether it was Agent Fowler,
Right.
Jack,
That's-
Miko,
yeah,
Raph,
that's-
to just walk out and be like, hey,
100%.
salutations.
I was sincerely hoping for a people.
Yeah,
The fact that we did not get a people was like, oh.
I really did. I really thought that it was going to be a reveal that it was a person who'd actually made the bomb, not a Decepticon, and that they were there trying to defend the base, and it was going to be one of the kids who's now an adult.
Yeah, who's like,
Yes.
hey, like all of the above ground stuff is just a cover of like it just
Yeah.
looks like an abandoned base on top. We've secretly been maintaining one of the lower levels,
Yeah.
and are currently
lower
using it
levels
for
that they-
operations.
That they literally never told anyone about.
Yeah.
The lower levels that we just now created for the show. Shh, it's fine. It's fine.
Again, that being
It
said,
happened
though,
after the end of the series. You
This-
didn't see it.
this wasn't at all a bad episode.
Oh,
And
no.
especially, for any new fans of Robots in Disguise who never watched Prime, this is a good way of like slowly integrating them into that world. But for
Absolutely.
those of us who watched Prime, loved it.
Yes, yes.
It's a little bit like,
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. It was that, as I say, it's the first time we've gotten a really overt reference to Prime, and so I just wanted them to like take that and run like 36 miles, like not even 1 mile, just like
look, we know
full
Josh
tilt.
Keaton is recording for Voltron, but come on, you can get him in the studio for a little bit.
Exactly.
I feel like we were all like kids with our faces pressed against the window, like, let us in. Let us in.
Yeah.
There's more in there.
That's
I know
exactly
it.
what it was.
I want to see.
What else is there? It's so shiny. We need to talk about our new people. We need to talk about our low-rent Scorponok, because let's be real.
Oh my goodness.
Spencer Harris described him as a great value Scorponok,
Yes.
like you would get at Walmart. They have the
Sure.
great value brand.
Yep.
And that's Paralon. Did I write? Yeah, Paralon, whom we definitely misheard his name the first couple of times.
I didn't even
the
hear.
first
I never
all-
caught his name.
I had to go look it up because they said it once.
I heard it as Paramon first, or
Paramon.
We heard it
like,
as
like
we
was
heard
a
it as
Digimon.
Caramon
Caramon, that was it.
because
Still a Digimon.
enunciation is nobody's strong suit,
like
but that's
he
okay.
digivolves into Scorponok. Mon, because they always have to have Mon at the end.
I always have to have Mon at the end. I was definitely imagining him. He comes across as one of those people that's always at the edges of a disaster, trying to pick up what he can and maybe pawn a watch.
Yeah.
Like, he strikes me as that kind
He's
of
a
person.
scavenger in the Mad Max apocalypse.
He is an Indiana Jones villain in the first 5 minutes of an Indiana Jones movie.
Although, and I felt kind
One of the
bad
little
for
villains
him.
who winds up on the spikes instead of getting the idol.
I felt kind of bad for him initially because, for one, he doesn't have thumbs. He can't properly hold that minicon. Like,
That's
using
how did he
that
make that bomb? He didn't. You're right. He doesn't have thumbs.
like he's got. I guess he has like
There
one
are
appendage and then one
others.
thumb. I guess.
Okay.
We know that there are other minicons, and we can assume that there are other scavengers, relic hunters, whatever they
Yeah.
want to call themselves, because you and the others want the protection that we provide, and I won't have the others laughing at me. We have two groups here that seem to have a tenuous alliance.
Yeah.
It's like getting protection from the mob.
Yeah, and presumably it's one group of minicons. We're making an assumption here because we
Yes.
haven't seen the rest of the minicons group.
Yeah.
And then one group of what seems to be scavengers or survivors?
Relic
or...
hunters, scavengers.
I like Relic Hunter. I like
Ostensibly, all of them
Great value
Decepticons.
versions of all of the Decepticons.
I do love that great value Scorponok is like, I'll be the best relic hunter there is. I'm like, oh, he's an aspiring relic hunter. That's adorable.
Oh, he got punched in the face like a lot.
I did like that minicon though, and the way that it like turned into a sword.
I
Basically,
love Buzz
It's
Strike
got little
so
wings.
much.
It's so cute.
I really like Buzz Strike. I like the character type.
Yeah.
I like that type of person that he seems to be. I like the design. I love the axe.
Yeah.
Dang, I am
Great
just
voice
down
acting,
for
too.
it. Yeah.
Both from both these characters.
Yeah.
Like, both stellar acting from both of them.
And Buzz Strike is really overpowered. Let's be completely real. We've seen a lot of minicons, and we haven't seen anyone do the kind of stuff that he's pulling.
He's certainly maybe he's just a better trained minicon. He's had, he's scrappy, man. Like, they've been living underground. He's got to get some more life experience than like your average minicon that basically like lives in another bot's shoulders.
But I haven't seen any other minicons with the power to literally control people.
Well,
And that's what he was doing. It was a dance puppets dance sort of thing. Like, well, he is completely unconscious.
Yeah.
I will make you a deal.
he was like Napoleon in a former lifetime, just
I can't get over his little beautiful Gundam wings that he has equipped that turn into the axe blades. Like that
Can't
was
get
just
over the
so-
eyes.
Yeah, he's got very
Yeah.
expressive eyes.
Yeah. And we've noticed that he is not on the evil spectrum as
No.
far as alignment goes, because I didn't come here to kill people. And look, you can keep the weapon. You got this. We just want to get out of here. We good? We cool? We're
Well,
leaving.
and then even when he had the opportunity to take said weapon when he was unconscious, like he was like, no, I don't need it. So it's a question of like he clearly needs this one group's protection, but at the same time, it's like if you're going to try to actively subvert this group from their agenda, like of gaining all these ancient weapons, they're not going to protect you for very long. Dude.
Yeah.
Here's what I want to know. Does he need this group's protection?
I don't know.
Because you have a minicon that is a heck of a lot more powerful than whatever guy he's partnered with. That much is extremely obvious from what we've seen. It was obviously the weapon doing the fighting there.
True.
I'm wondering if it's not one of those situations where where they think they need protection from one thing or another, and it's really this long con by this group of scavengers because, you know what, these minicons are really, really powerful. Let's make them think they need us.
Or
so they stick
the
around.
reverse, he might be infiltrating this group. He might be
my
possessing
inclination
them.
as well. Yeah. My inclination is that it's the minicons who are conning the Decepticons that are protecting them, so to speak. You know what I mean?
It's a double con.
Yeah, but I feel like, based on what we saw of the minicon in this episode, like he, as you say, it's very, very clear that like he was the one doing the fighting. Like Great Value Scorponok would have been totally lost without him. So I think it's one of those things where they are acting as though they are in need of protection when in actual fact they're playing the game the smart way. Because I feel like, why, if you are a neutral party, as I feel this minicon is, like, why would you actively try to engage in combat with the Decepticons? Now, the Decepticons are apt to act violently towards anyone they deem to potentially be in competition with them, regardless of whether it's like Autobots being like, yeah, we want to take you down, or somebody else just being like, nah, man, we're just not on your side. So I think it's a smart move on the part of those minicons to be like, oh, we totally need your help. But
Yeah, because otherwise it's super risky.
Yeah.
Like, if you're just a group of minicons who goes up to a random group of Decepticons who clearly don't really have any morals and are very much trying to survive since every bit of leadership has been, kind of wiped away.
Yeah.
It's a huge risk to just go up to them and go like, hey, can we just hang out with you for a while? You have to offer something in return. Otherwise the Decepticons are going to be like, if there's nothing in it for us, we're just going to kill you. So I guess what they can offer in return is the weapons that they are, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So we got to
it'll be
divide
interesting.
down the middle of the table then.
I'm
Well,
just
you-
saying
and
it's a possibility. It could be that these guys make the minicons feel like they need to be protected from something.
Regardless, it's not an equal partnership.
Definitely not.
Not everyone is on the up and up with this, and I think everyone is aware of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see more of these scavengers, and it will be interesting to see more of these minicons.
Yeah, like it's always exciting when we get new groups of Transformers, not just, you know, from the marketing side of things where they provide new
More
toys
toys.
and everything like that. Like at the beginning of last season when we saw an entire ship full of Decepticons, we got real excited.
It was basically the back half of the ship from Lost, of the plane from Lost. Let's be real. It's
That
the
is
tail
exactly
that
what
wound
it
up on the
was.
other side of the island.
Yeah, that's totally what happened.
That is indeed true. But, like, here, we don't know how many of these relic hunters there are. We don't know how many minicons there are. There's a lot of possibilities. And I don't look at toy lines in advance, so I look forward to being surprised.
Yeah, that is a wise move. Spencer Harris says, I think maybe the minicons are on the run from the big bad of the season, which
Could be.
that
That
would
could
not
be fair.
surprise me.
That would be interesting.
That would also be a good reason for them to pretend like they needed to be in cahoots with the Decepticons, because on some level they do need to be protected.
Yeah.
In order for them to achieve whatever their goals are, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
And then Roz Mystica 01 says, I don't know if you've seen any spoilers, but I know for a fact you'll have fun this season. I don't know if you are referring to bad guy that might be making an appearance this season. But,
We know.
Should we go ahead and give a
We
spoiler
know.
alert for
Let's
when we start
Let's
to talk
save
about
it to the end.
I'm thinking news and gossip. That's
Yeah.
what I'm
Perfect,
saying. We'll give a
perfect.
spoiler alert.
Yeah, at that point.
Because it makes us very happy.
yes.
Anyway,
I had something I was
mean-
going to say, and I completely just...
I know we talked a lot about the design of this minicon, and even though this guy was a great value Scorponok, I actually did like the purple design. The only thing one of the reasons I felt sorry for him was because I thought that the scale looked a little off to me, because he looked at the time just a little bit bigger than the minicon, and then it turned out he was just as big as Sideswipe. Like, it surprised me.
Oh, yeah, he did look small.
But
when you
I
first saw
love the
him.
purple look. The
Yeah.
purple look is great.
The one thing for color that the one thing this episode did that I did not like was, let's get desert camo just in case, except maybe not. It's totally a new
yeah.
toy line. That's totally the reason
Yeah,
for it.
I was gonna say there
but
was
it
no point.
It destroyed the color palette for this episode.
But I do have to say I did enjoy the moment where it doesn't work for Grimlock, and he's like, well, what am I supposed to do? They're like,
Tell him
that
you're a giant robot from outer space who transforms into a dinosaur.
And he's like, oh man, gotta try to keep that story straight.
Hope I can remember that. Yeah, no, I wrote that down because it's wonderful.
I love Grimlock.
That's the truth, Grimlock.
But it's like, let's get camo. Except for you. Sorry.
Also, guys, are you watching Walking Dead this season? Because you should, because Kari's going to be on it playing Ezekiel.
That's true.
Who has a tiger.
Which is so funny because we watched the trailer for this season where Kari's in it. He looks so unrecognizable because Ezekiel is just such an out there character in
Very
terms of
eccentric,
his look. So
yes.
did not even recognize him.
Yes, that is not Kari's hair. That is a wig.
Well, yeah, it
Kari
takes
has-
time and effort to get hair
Kari
like that.
has no hair anymore.
Oh
He shaved off his beautiful, beautiful fro.
I was going to say
no! It
voluntarily,
was so
or
nice.
Yeah, he did it for the show, so yeah.
make it so much easier to put a wig on over nothing.
I can't even
I would
imagine
imagine.
what it's like wearing a wig in Atlanta,
In-
Georgia heat.
Yep.
Ugh.
Not
I'm
something I
sorry,
ever want to
Kari.
find out, but yes, I'm just shout out to Kari. I'm very
Yeah.
very excited for him, and I cannot
too.
wait to see him this season.
Me too. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
I don't watch Walking Dead, so
All you need to know is that his character has a tiger.
yeah, no,
so-
I do know that. That's one of
That
those.
is
Oh,
all
hello.
you need to know.
What did I just witness? So yes, history. History is happening in Manhattan, and it happens to be. Yeah, no. That's every time we went. History's happening, and I'm like, oh god, there we go.
Oh, but
Yep.
history's boring, guys.
I did love the quaint little tilted building in the land that humans have called Italy.
Oh, that was
Bless
adorable.
you. That was super cute. And you know it's like Cybertronians going, oh, they think they're special. They made a defective building and now it's a landmark.
No one say anything. They worked really hard on it.
I think the Leaning Tower of Pisa was the result of not really scanning the land.
I think that was
and half of it's hard and
a
half of it's swamp.
Yes.
That is 100% a foundational issue. Oh.
And it's wonderful. So we're doing the world tour of historical sites, and Sideswipe, like any teenager in a history class that he didn't sign up for, is having literally none of it. History when everything was slow.
Yeah. Like strong arm.
Someone show this guy Ben-Hur
Yeah.
and tell him that history is slow. Show him that chariot race.
Yeah, I mean,
The old Ben-Hur, not the new one that no one likes to talk
this
about.
is the thing, is that, you know, I felt it was very in character for Sideswipe, you know what I mean? Like, because he's like that teenage jerk.
Yeah, he doesn't want to learn anything that doesn't let him go faster, be cooler, fight better. If it's none of those things, he's not interested.
Yeah.
Or music. Music, I'm sure he'd love to learn about.
I like the parts.
See, that's the thing, is they made a mistake. They should have taken him to the opera houses in Germany and like done and gone and seen some Wagner. You know, I'm sure I would have been very interested in that.
I think that would have been worse.
Get a little,
You ruined the one human thing that I liked.
Get a little Flying Dutchman. I'm just saying.
Given that he's a techno kind of guy, you throw opera at a techno person, and either they are enlightened or they are in hell, and I don't think he's the type to get enlightened.
Well, now I'm just picturing Sideswipe in a theater with little opera glasses.
Yep.
Opera glasses that are the size
You're
of most
welcome.
people's, like, binders. Wow, I got no...
So he doesn't like history.
He
Yes.
doesn't
They're
like
going through
history.
this world tour anyway.
And I love that at the very end of it, it's like, oh, history. I learned something and then I used it in real life. Is this
Because-
what school is for?
Yeah.
Because those who don't learn from the past
Are
are
doomed
doomed
to
to
repeat
repeat
it.
it.
Yep.
Given that this series in most of its incarnations has been about horrifying planet-destroying war, I feel like that's a really good lesson to
Yeah.
take away from it.
It was interesting. I sort of felt that with Strong Arm that she was interested in history because Bumblebee said it was important to be interested in history,
Yeah.
and the only stuff she was really interested in was the history of the Autobots
Cybertronian
being on
war.
Earth.
Yeah.
This is
exactly.
hallowed ground.
Yes.
Hallowed ground.
And
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, the whole point of this little history lesson is to provide a framework for the rest of this season's arc.
Sure.
Which is, now that I think about it, I'm sure there are Cybertronian relics littered all over this planet.
This entire
because
planet.
there were.
Yeah. This entire planet has all sorts of Cybertronian relics and battle sites and everything on it, and it's like, yeah, you were kind of the America of space, weren't you?
They were.
Let's be real, they really
Especially
were.
because it was for energy resources too, and it was, yeah. And like, I think the thing that really threw me off in Prime is anytime they actually said out loud weapons of mass destruction, and I'm like, I should never hear that from a cartoon. Why am I hearing that in a cartoon?
Yeah.
Well, now it's normalized in our everyday lexicon, so
Yup.
there you go.
That's the kind of world we live in.
And the one thing they managed to find old traps, which are still working, because of course they are. We didn't bother deactivating these when we left, just in case.
I mean, they were like, well, our work here is done. Time to go into the space bridge.
We're leaving for another planet. Bye.
But I mean, Ratchet stayed behind for a while. He should have probably worked a little harder to clean stuff up.
Yeah.
Did a couple people stay with Ratchet, or am I losing my mind?
He
was the only one.
He was the
right?
only one that stayed behind.
And then that just nope. We went back to Cybertron because someone had to get hurt again, guys.
Yep.
Yes. I'm losing it. Please help me.
So again, they come across the bad guys in this, and it's interesting that they singled this place out as a place to find weapons and relics
And they
things
got
like
the
that.
map from beating the living daylights out of another Decepticon.
Yeah.
Who would have had to have known about it? Okay, you know what? We keep dancing around it. Let's put the spoiler warning up here now.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler
Holy
alert!
cow!
Spoiler alert!
I like it.
How How long is that audio clip?
So guys,
I've never used that before. Apparently, I've never spoiled anything on
We've
the
done
show.
it a couple times.
We-
So
I've-
we
I've
have
gotten it
from
a
very
few, yeah.
reliable sources, and by that we mean the voice of the guy, that Starscream is back this season.
I mean, they also announced it at Comic-Con.
Did
so,
they?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
well, no big deal then. Why
Yes.
do you worry about the spoilers? I didn't realize
I
they
don't
were
know.
announced.
Well, maybe not everybody's keeping up with that. You know what I mean? Because this is the thing, is that it's like, okay, so it was announced that he was going to be in this season at Comic-Con, or I don't know if it's this season or he's showing up in whatever the continuation of this season is, because apparently this is only going to be 6 episodes. But anyway, Starscream is definitely coming back. I have seen the character design for it. I don't think it's anywhere online though. It's been really weird. Sort of the publicity for this season has been sort of lagging. But anyway, so yes, Starscream is on his way back, and but as I say, like he wasn't in this episode. He wasn't like in a preview for the next episode,
Yeah.
and because people didn't even really seem to know that this was the weekend that the show was coming back. Like that's why I
Yeah.
feel like it stands to warn people that
yeah,
you know
exactly.
Starscream's coming back.
But we do have a Decepticon that has known that this location was here. Starscream, are we
Sure,
surprised?
sure.
And he's definitely gotten his tailpipe handed to him for information before, especially from someone like Buzzstrike, who is extremely overpowered.
Sure, absolutely.
medic.
Medic, yes. It hurts the most here.
No, bring medical kit. That was it.
That's right. Bring medical kit, come alone.
But
I will be very happy if they randomly receive a message like that at some point, and everyone's like, do we have a medic? Fix it, can you? And B is just like, oh God,
one of these.
why?
It's obviously one. It can only be one person. But the yeah, we don't know what capacity he's coming back. If he's gonna be just here as like a one-off, or like
Yeah.
Soundwave was last season, or which again was spectacular. I loved it so much. Or if he's not going to be a character that's on the periphery for this entire arc, or
Yeah.
maybe even directly responsible or the head of one of these groups.
Yeah.
See, Soundwave's presence changes the game. It ups the stakes in a way that they were in Prime and that Robots hasn't really hit yet. Starscream, not so much. Because of his MO, because he can last in the shadows for such a long time,
Yeah.
because he's evidently not dead and somehow made it to Earth.
Listen,
like, okay.
I think what you mean to say is because he's his own worst enemy.
That too, but he changes the game in a different way. The hike in stakes isn't nearly as extreme. Because we had Steeljaw working that way as well. So
Yes.
we've seen someone work like that in this show before. Starscream is just the slightly more honed, slightly more ego, much less self-control version.
I agree with that, but at the same time, I wonder, since he, as far as we know, just based solely on the fact that, you know, this is the only series in which we've seen Steeljaw, it makes me think that, you know, maybe Starscream's learned something along the way.
You think he's been there the whole time, like eating, he's like hiding in the bushes and eating popcorn, watching these
We
battles
don't know what happened
happen?
to him after he evidently died.
The Nostalgia
Died.
Chick did a focus on Starscream for her series called Loose Cannon, which if you haven't watched it, it's great. Go check it out. But she makes a very interesting point about not just Starscream, but about the Transformers as a whole, and in general, both the Decepticons and the Autobots. But Starscream can't grow or change all that much, even though I would argue he definitely has an arc in Prime. And it's so much so that by the time you get to the end of it before Beast Hunters, you actually genuinely feel sorry for where he's at,
Yeah.
like, at that particular point in his life. But yeah, you can't change up Starscream that much, otherwise he's not really Starscream.
He stops being Starscream.
Yeah. Right. I'm not saying that
But yeah, I would love to see
he's
him.
gonna it's still gonna be
He
Yeah.
can get smarter and still be an idiot.
and still be an idiot. Yeah, exactly.
Which again, it would be wonderful to see a version of Starscream where he's like, again, you know, in the future,
Yeah.
he's learned from his mistakes,
Right.
And
So
at
he
least-
knows how to make new ones. Let's be real.
Yeah. Apparently, we are not spoiling anything for anybody because, number one, it seems everyone in the chat's already seen all 6 of these episodes.
You know, I can't say I'm surprised, and if anyone spoils us, I will be so
They
disappointed.
were on in Canada a long time ago, guys. It's fine. And then, but also, there is now a trailer online for that encompasses this whole season, and Starscream is in it. So, and I'm sure it's the same one they showed at Comic-Con. So,
So we really don't need to have worried about that spoiler alert at all.
yeah, not at all.
Good Lord,
Not at all.
sirens
But
in my
appar-
ears
but-
for no reason.
But guys, I'm getting real excited to watch the rest of the season because everyone in the chat's already seen it and they said it's amazing. So.
It's so tempting.
Yeah, it's again knowing that they're out there, but guys, we are going with the rate that
airing
it's being
schedule.
released here in the good old US of A.
Yeah.
I trust you guys not to spoil us more than I trust the Voltron fandom not to spoil us.
Yeah.
To be completely and totally honest. Just general fandom putting all of the information it possibly can out there and the joy of enjoying something.
I mean, this is the thing, though, is that, you know, I think that people come into this realizing, oh, yes, all 6 episodes have aired in Canada, but it's not like they released them all at the same time on Netflix.
Yeah.
You know, it's more, I understand the temptation with the Netflix series completely because they do release it all at once.
Yeah.
And so
Oh,
you do
yeah.
want to just binge it and do it. But when you're doing after shows, it's hard to remember what happened in what episode if you binge
If
it
you
all at
binge
once.
the entire
Yeah.
series, yeah.
So, yeah.
I feel like that's more of a case in Marvel after shows than in, say, Voltron, because they do very delineated episode endings, and Marvel does a lot of it's straight,
Yeah.
and we just kind of put the credits in where
Yeah.
they're
And
appropriate.
here's the hook to the next
I will
one.
say
Exactly.
no. I did the Jessica Jones after show, and nobody spoiled it. Nobody spoiled any of
Yeah.
it. So
That's
And from what I
fantastic.
hear,
Yeah.
nobody spoiled Luke Cage for our after show people there. So, you know, you guys are really good at
Yeah,
this.
I went many months, many moons without having seen Jessica Jones, and I still haven't seen Luke Cage. So I haven't. Maybe this is jinxing
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah, a little bit.
No one spoiled me yet.
It's almost like we're all really super busy. Yeah, we should pop back to the plot of the show because we haven't
Yes.
really talked about Strong Arm and Grimlock. They're little.
Aw,
I adored that tiny little B plot. Not gonna lie.
it was great. Yeah,
It
I
was
mean,
so
'cause,
cute.
yeah, basically, you know, they all kind of separate when they get to the base, and Strong Arm and they're like searching for whoever set up
There's
the
a
bomb.
bomb here
Yeah.
that I do not recognize and is brand new. You go this way, you go that way, and you're coming with me.
Yeah, and so they go to try to find whoever set up the bomb, and Grimlock steps on
Something
what
that
they
clicks.
believe to be a mine.
Yeah.
And so then Strongarm is like, well, B's gonna be the only one that knows how to disarm this, so I
just
gotta go
love it.
find him.
I love her terrible bedside manner. We could no,
Yeah.
or maybe no. I think
Just pick
Grimlock
an
is
idea.
going a little
Yeah.
crazy.
She was like, if you take your foot off of that mine, it might. And he says, you better say tickle.
The next word better be tickle. Like I'm going anywhere.
I just like there's a lot of really like we've talked before in the past about like very subtle animation bits, and probably my favorite just tiny little character animation bit is when Grim thinks that he needs to sacrifice himself to save the rest of his friends, and Bumblebee walks over to him. He does this cute little like finger.
He's
like,
fidgeting.
Yeah, he's just fidgeting with his fingers, and it's just so
He's
cute.
swinging his hands and fidgeting and just like, and he just shoves him over.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't have any minds. Like you could have told him that before you knocked him on his tail. Okay.
Yep.
I just love how just completely casual B is about so much of this. Just like, nah, we good.
Remember, he is the older child
Yeah,
babysitting the
that's
younger
and I
true.
think,
He's
too,
still a
that-
teenager.
I do think that B was like, in this episode, he felt like he was in his element. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he was back in territory that he was familiar with. And I think that what was nice to see is that instead of having the effect it could have had of him being like nostalgic and when we were here, like Optimus always knew what to do, and sort of reverting back to that young follower kind of role. Instead, him being so comfortable and kind of nostalgic about it made him go, well, I know exactly, like, oh, this is a place where everything is familiar, where I always knew. I mean, certainly, as much as you can, being in the middle of a war, know what's going to happen day in and day out. But it's like,
Yeah.
there was this sense of this is familiar to me. I got this.
It emboldened him.
Yeah.
It didn't send him back to that, like, oh man, I wish I knew what to do, or like that doubting himself phase that he had when he first started leading a team. He knows what he's doing now, and back in the day, he was like the renegade scout who would just hop into danger. So
he was a slightly less mouthy sideswipe. Speedsters, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, and I love that we didn't go back to the, Optimus knew what to do, this, that, because we put that to rest last season.
We did. We don't need to go back to it.
Yep, I agree.
This is a series where actions have consequences, thank God.
Well,
I totally agree.
And we should probably bring up, too, that it was Adam Beecham who wrote this episode.
Yeah.
And again, like, what a perfect choice in terms... But again,
he was doing the dance puppet stance thing the whole time.
Send him a strongly worded tweet.
Excellent episode, sir. However, I have some notes.
Yes.
But no, I mean, if
I have the honor to be your obedient viewer.
Yes.
No, but like again, it's nice to have the showrunner who, has worked with Jeff in the past, like, to really be the one to like start to tie the past and present together, and like what I assume is the arc for this.
Well,
set
and
of
a lot of the
episodes.
robots team is the Prime team as well.
Yeah,
So we have a
exactly.
lot of people who are familiar with all of this and are probably just as stoked as we are to be bringing it back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we're all 1,000% down for this.
Yep.
I think we've hit just about everything with the exception of that glorious stinger at the end. Because B mentions at one point, I kept a video diary earlier, but, I decided it was dumb, so I stopped, and gets this really furtive look on his face.
Oh my God.
I will say at the end when Sideswipe pulls out this disc and said, hey, I found this, it's a historical artifact, and the look on B's face, my brain went, oh God, he found the spark extractor. Like, that is where my brain went, and I'm glad that is not where the show went.
I agree. I thought it was going to be something much more like catastrophic as well. But yeah, he was like, I don't know what this is. And B's like, it's a historical relic. Give it to me.
I feel like
It's my
Sideswipe
teenage
already knew what
mixtape.
it was, had totally already watched it, and was definitely just like, now that the gang's all back together.
Yeah. Oh, it's Sideswipe.
Guess what I found?
That's 100% what happened. Like, Sideswipe does not wait to be like told what to do. You know what I mean? Like that's just not how he operates. So.
And he was the one that kept hunting down the con and like, well, if you did blow my friends up, at least I could take you out.
Yep, totally.
That got dark.
Yep.
Randomly.
But the and with this, like, the idea that B did like a little exercise video
From the 80s. That was when those were popular, and the leg warmers and the band. It was the 80s.
Well, and hello, Transformers has been around since the 80s. So
yep.
I enjoyed that little like sort of implication that that's how long they've been on Earth for.
Yeah.
It made
The wink, wink,
total
nudge,
sense.
nudge, yeah.
I was gonna say, that makes a lot more sense than one of the kids finding an old YouTube video or bringing in an old VHS.
Yeah.
It makes way more sense that, again, that they've been there for some time.
Yeah.
Before all the kids came in.
Yeah.
Well, and there wouldn't be any YouTube videos that were before everyone coming to Earth and the Alchemore crashing, because they made for dang sure that they took all references to Cybertron off of the internet.
Yeah.
Off of whatever version of 4chan exists in this.
Well,
Not
no,
4chan, Reddit.
But exercise videos
Yeah.
existed.
Oh,
for sure.
yeah.
So I'm still wondering who like brought over an exercise VHS. Agent Fowler, I'm looking at your direction.
At some point they had to start getting curious about human culture, and we're just kind of like, I know we're not supposed to be doing this, but
Yeah.
I've checked your search history. What are you doing? What is that? Stop it.
But it was cute, and I'm just picturing like B doing like vlogs and stuff now. I think that's just adorable.
On one hand, it would be great. On the other hand, it would all be buzzing.
I know.
Like, those would be really fun, and they would also be heart-wrenching. And
to go back to Voiceless B,
Yeah, and we were chatting about this a bit before the show, and you said you kind of wanted to hear him speak like that again. And I'm like, on one hand, yes, to get everyone else's reactions.
Yeah.
On the other hand, that is something you have to explain to the audience at home, because, by the way, I lost my voice box for an indeterminate amount of time.
Yeah.
Is not something that has ever been brought up on this show.
No, it hasn't. And I mean, I think too, with there being the 80s exercise video, that was meant to imply that, okay, so that was sort of your like G1 Transformers era, and Bumblebee could speak, so.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, possibly.
That's true. That's very true. And
So I think that was before he lost his voice box, is what I'm saying.
Well, no, he lost it on Cybertron.
Yeah.
So.
But again, timelines. We don't know how
Yeah.
long they'd been on Earth
Yeah.
before the start of Prime. And anyway, they've had human friends since the 80s.
Yeah.
So like, it's not that far fetched.
They might have been assigned someone before Agent Fowler who had a sense of humor. Or more of an overt sense of humor, as the case, it turns out, is.
Fair enough.
I would watch a whole series of exercise videos with all these guys. Training videos, Drifts is on meditating.
Aw.
I would definitely
It's just
watch
a
that.
video where it's him meditating and then Jetstorm and Slipstream kind of starting to fidget and getting
Yes.
antsy.
Well, someone sent us fan art of Heatwave doing yoga, and it was the
Yes.
cutest
Oh,
thing.
yeah. I liked to, with Drift in this episode, I mean, he didn't do too much, but just when he was like, Jetstorm, Slipstream, assist us, and they were like, yes, we got this.
We get to do things. We got a new coat of paint. Life is good.
Yeah, I like it.
I
And
need
him
them.
just being like, how undignified, but very amusing.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm sure that was absolutely your plan from the beginning.
So, all in all,
I've missed
good
this
stuff.
show.
Yeah.
I have missed this show so much.
Listen, it was a good start. As I say, like, I just got overly excited and hopeful when we went back to the base. You know what
Well,
I
and
mean?
Like I
again,
said, pressing your faces against the
Yeah.
glass, go and give us more, give us more.
Like, it was, I mean, like, it's like, you know, it's, I don't want to say it's bad enough, but, like, because we're getting Starscream down the line, it's, like, bad enough going, like, when are we going to see him? When are we going to see him? And then to throw us into Jasper, Nevada on top of that for the very first episode, it's like,
Yeah. Oh, and I knew immediately, too, when they went to, you know, when they first showed up there, I was like, oh my God, they're in a military base.
Pretty much. Like, yeah, no, just seeing that set again, seeing it animated differently, but just being like, oh my God,
yeah.
oh my God, oh my God, they're back. Oh my God, oh my God. I was making noises. I
Yeah.
made many noises.
and I watched it after her, so I was like, is Agent Fowler there? Is Jack his rep?
Yeah.
Like, are there rescue bots there? No, don't tell me, I don't want to
And
know.
I'm just poker facing the best that I can.
The rescue bots there.
Well, you know, Sideswipe showed up in Rescue Bots. So
I'm into it. Totally down.
Yes. That is the crossover. That is the other side of the crossover I never knew I wanted. Like, I love it when they show up in Rescue Bots. I would be totally down for the Rescue Bots showing up in this continuity and them all being like,
Heck yeah.
okay, right.
Yep.
It'd be adorable.
Oh my God, I'd be down. I want it. Hasbro, give it to me.
Well,
Please.
they already finished editing this season, animating it, so it would
There's
perhaps...
another season.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
It would be hard to retroactively acquiesce to that request.
That's why
put
we
them
have
in-
Photoshop.
They
Oh
put them
my
in just
God.
like color forms, you know what I mean?
Like kids playing with the...
The little stick puppets, yeah.
Yeah.
God, I would be down for it. That would
Yep.
be incredible.
They're just photoshopped into the
Yes.
background
So
of
there
one
you go, guys.
scene.
Everyone, that's your assignment, is Photoshop characters from Rescue Bots into Transformers Robots in Disguise this season. Go.
Yes. Your Photoshop assignment is whatever the heck you want it to be. We will adore every single piece of it. Let's be real.
But we would really mostly adore that the most.
You would.
Yes, I speak solely for myself.
So it's the royal we.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
We would adore. Yeah.
Yep.
No, do the thing, win the stuff. You know we love you guys. I think we've hit just about everything.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts on this episode?
No, just it's nice to be back,
Yeah.
and I can't wait for more. And it's
Yeah.
really hard not to actively try to seek out more.
All right, well,
Yep.
before we go into, we don't really have any news and gossip because that's news that everyone already knew, let's be real. So before we go into predictions, I want to talk to you guys really quick about iTunes because that is how you keep us on the air. That is how you keep us coming back. The best thing that you guys can do for us, if you like this show, is to go onto iTunes, I usually just search for AfterBuzz Robots and it brings us up right away. Subscribe to the podcast. It's the audio version. You can listen to it in your car or whatever. And rate, comment, subscribe, leave a review, all of that fun stuff. Because if you leave those ratings, hopefully 5 stars, because, you know, we adore you guys, and leave a review, not only do we read the reviews on the air because we adore you, But our producers go in, look at the ratings, look at the reviews, and say, people really like this show about giant robots. We should keep doing this show about giant robots. And here we are, back for season 3-ish.
Yay!
Woo! Do we have any new ones from last time?
We do. We have one new one from the time we were off the air.
Possibly. I checked, and our
Potentially.
last
Dates are weird.
Our last episode posted on May 15th.
Oh,
This
so
is
it would have been...
this is from May 10th, but iTunes is also very
iTunes
weird.
is usually on a little bit of a delay, so
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and say it's new.
Okay.
Chat also has a delay, so if there's something you want us to cover that we didn't, now's the time
Yes.
to put it in
Stop
chat.
us if you've heard this one before.
Down at the bottom?
Yep.
Love it from Brio Rouge. Love the review, and I love that the fans aren't the only ones who are concerned about Glow Strike. I think they should bring her back. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah, no, Grey Griffin, 100%.
Oh, please.
I am
love
going
her.
to confuse Buzz Strike and Glow Strike a lot. I am going to say one when I mean the other because they have extremely similar names. You can't blame me.
No.
So, yeah, leave a review. You will get it read out on the air, and it helps us stay on the air. So, please and thank you.
Yay.
Yay.
Does chat have anything that we have not talked about?
They're just asking about Robots in Disguise Combiner Force. It's going to air next year.
Oh.
I know. I
So
wanna
we
watch,
do have another
yeah,
season.
Yeah, so I got to
Yay.
watch. I still have yet to watch Machinima's Combiner Wars.
Yes.
But I really want to. And John Bailey, who narrates all of the Screen Junkies Honest trailers, is the voice of Optimus Prime in that. So.
Oh, well, okay then.
That's perfect. He
Yeah.
has a really great Optimus.
Yeah,
He
he's
has an
fantastic.
epic voice.
So shout out to John Bailey because he's great.
Ah. All right, well, in that case, we should probably get into predictions.
Perfect.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
I love the light show. I will forever love the light show. So we're getting Starscream.
Yeah.
At some point in the... I sincerely hope that it's not like Ratchet, where it's like, we know we're getting Ratchet.
And he's in
season
like
finale.
one episode, yeah.
In the season finale. Like,
Yep.
I want
2
him
episodes
soon.
and wasn't really that
I feel like
relevant.
if we're doing a 6-episode miniseries, like we might as well just throw Starscream in as the main antagonist, like right away.
Do it. Do it.
Or a potential third party.
Oh yeah, to be
Because
like,
he would be
wait.
screwing around on the edges,
Oh, for
messing
sure.
everyone
Oh,
up.
because Starscream is on Starscream's side.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
no.
But
How
he's
great-
also against himself.
Yeah.
It's a terrible position
Again,
to be in.
his own worst enemy. But yeah, how great would it be to have the Autobots go, we thought you were doing this, and have the Decepticons going, we thought you were doing this,
Yeah.
and it turns out
And
it's
Starscream's hiding behind a tree doing this.
Yeah.
Dance, puppets, dance.
Omega Pulse in the chat, just to add further confusion to what
do
the
it.
heck season is this, is saying that Hasbro is calling Combiner Force Season 3. So this is
gosh.
2.5? I don't know.
Question mark?
Cartoon Network's calling it 3, so
I don't know
I
what to
assume
do.
Cartoon Network will call Combiner Force Season 4, or they may just call
Have a really,
this
really long
hiatus.
season
Yeah.
3.
Yeah, exactly.
Why
Oh my
are our
God.
shows so difficult to number?
Isn't this the third show we're on where the numbering is borked?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Z Nation, Rebels, and this.
Yeah,
Like,
well,
the numbering is just so
And
confused
Steven
this
Universe
season.
can get confusing too, where it's like, what season is this?
I don't know anymore.
Anyway.
Steven Universe doesn't know anymore
Yeah.
what Steven
Yeah,
Universe
our
is doing.
engineers ask us, what episode is this? And it's like, your guess is as good as
It's
ours.
like, it's episodes 107 through 109.
But,
Really? In the same season? No, we're going by total episodes because seasons.
I like the idea of the relic hunters,
I
and
do too.
Yes.
I like the idea of seeing both old and new weapons come about. So yeah, it would be nice to see old weapons pop up, and I hope we get 1 or 2 Indiana Jones references while we're at it.
Oh, we
I
have
just
to.
really want some of the human characters from Prime to come
Yes.
back. Like,
Who doesn't?
I am
really
expecting.
want.
I want Raph more
I
than
want Raph
anyone
more than
else.
anybody else too, and I was just the way I was imagining this episode going when they were going to be like, oh, turns out this bomb was actually created by a human, and it would just be Raph would show up and it'd be really emotional, and that's what I want. in my
Raph
life.
is the one that obviously has the most emotional weight to it, but honestly, I'll take any and all of the human characters coming back. If you want to do Jack and Miko and Agent Fowler and Raph, I am down with that as well.
Yeah.
Can you
And-
imagine Agent Fowler and Fix-It having a conversation?
Oh my god.
Like, That is what I want.
Oh, and
Yeah.
he's so old now. We
Yeah.
have no idea how many
I was
years
gonna say,
it
I don't
was.
know if that's so much of a prediction as it is like hopes and dreams,
And I
but
want-
I'm rolling with it.
I think it's just hopes and dreams.
I am expecting at least one betrayal somewhere. Whether or not Starscream's involved, something with the Scavengers and this new group of ostensibly minicons.
Maybe the minicons are asking for protection because they combined together to form one of these ancient relics.
I was gonna be like, they've combined together to form Voltron. It had to be said.
What?
And all form the axe.
Oh God, no! Now I'm thinking of
Armada. Where
Why
they,
did you do that to
They
me?
became the Star
Swords and
Saber.
stuff.
The Star Saber, or whatever it was called.
By the way, you want to talk character development for a Starscream Armada?
Again,
That is the only thing that Armada is a shining
Armada-
example of.
Armada
but-
is the only Transformers iteration where I can think of where Starscream is ostensibly different, but also the best character in the show, and that includes Optimus Prime in that episode, in that series for some reason.
Armada's kind of a train wreck. It's
It is-
kind of fun to watch sometimes, depending on your circumstances.
It is a hot mess, and
It's
it's
absolutely
and
a
in
train
certain circumstances, it's fun to watch.
I've not seen
Yes.
that one.
Watch clips.
Save
and you'll-
yourself.
Yeah, that's all you need.
Anyway, now that we've all sat here and traumatized ourselves for a while, I think that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we good? Does
Yeah.
Chad have any final words?
Nope.
Nope, they're just
Nope.
sitting there eating popcorn and laughing at our pain.
Yeah, because they've all seen it and we
Oh,
haven't.
yeah, that's right. That's right. Thank you for not spoiling us. Please continue the trend. Emma, where can the people find you?
You can find me all over the internet at my name. It's Emma Fyffe, EMMAFYFFE. You can see me on a bunch of shows here at AfterBuzz TV on Sundays. You can catch me on Bob's Burgers at 8 o'clock p.m. Pacific, followed immediately by Ash vs. Evil Dead at 9 o'clock p.m. Pacific time. And you can also see me on Tuesdays on the Star Wars Rebels after show, though both Bob's Burgers and Star Wars Rebels are going to be off next week, but we'll be back the following weeks. And also, you can find me on my podcast, Love and Justice. If you like Sailor Moon, it's a Sailor Moon podcast. We are actually about to live stream watching one of the terrible Dracula Sailor Moon musicals for our Halloween episode. So
What?
we're gonna live stream the watching of it in half an hour here at 8:30. So if you want to go to Love and Justice's Facebook page, that's where you can check that out. And then we'll be recording the Halloween special immediately following that.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, hang in there.
Yeah.
Hang in there.
This is what happens when Dracula is.
It's not good. You would think they would just like make Dracula the villain. No, they insert him into existing Sailor Moon stories. It's not. They're not good, guys. Don't ever don't watch those musicals. They're bad.
It's a fair use as a public domain.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
public
the word
domain.
I'm looking
Yep.
for.
Godspeed, Emma. I'm Megan. You guys can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at the Menguin. That's TheMenguin. I am also on a bunch of shows here at AfterBuzz, and I write articles for the Movie Chick. That's Chick with 2 Ks. Be sure and check those out.
You know, for what it's worth, Dracula once had a powwow with Doctor Doom on the moon.
Yeah.
This is comics canon.
Yep.
I'm Katie
blah, blah.
Cullen. You can find me on Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, and YouTube at Kiaxet. That is Kiaxet. I am also on Snapchat at Kia Prime. Z Nation and Crunch Time are on Mondays. Star Wars Rebels is on Tuesdays. But yeah, like we said, we're off this week. Arrow is on Wednesdays. Ruby will be next week. I will not be there, but she will. She's leading the panel. It's glorious. Ruby is next week, 7 p.m. And then the week after that, we will be back at 7 p.m. So we're doing the whole alternating thing. It's going to be great. We're sharing with other things that are also guns. And this weekend, if you are in town for LA's Comic-Con / Comikaze / whatever the heck they're calling it now, we have a Star Wars Rebels panel at 3 p.m.?
3 p.m.
3 p.m. in room 406 AB. You should come by and see it. We're going to have a special guest. It's going to be great.
Yes.
We're going to have a grand old time. You can follow Alexis at Ataurus890. Again, send her your well wishes. She is a lovely human being. Thank you guys so much for watching,
Yay.
and we will see you next time.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Rev up and roll out.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.